As the spotlight turns on Qatar, there can be no better time for gay footballers to come out and shame a nation where same-sex activity is a crime, says Gary Lineker. He knows of Premier League stars who have been very close to coming out and called on them to do so amid the backdrop of the Qatar World Cup. Gary said, "It would be great if one or two of them came out during the World Cup. It would be amazing. I know for a fact that some have been very close and contemplated it. There's a couple I know, but obviously it's not for me to say who they are." In Qatar, homosexuality is a crime punishable by 7 years in jail, and Match of the Day presenter Gary believes gay footballers could send a strong message to the world by coming out, as Qatar becomes the first Muslim country in the Arab world to host the World Cup. Gay rights have become a flashpoint, leading some fans to worry for their safety in Doha, the capital. England captain Harry Kane has already promised to wear a One Love armband during World Cup matches, even if it is prohibited by FIFA. Asked why the players had refused to come out so far, Gary said, "Fear. Fear of the unknown, I imagine. Perhaps they are worried about what their teammates might think, although they probably already know. I mean, it seems insane that it should even be a thing. People say, yeah, but the crowds. And I say, well, the crowds chant anyway. Any kind of abuse you take is a compliment from the opposing fans." But he admitted, "You're always going to get a few idiots. But it's easy for me to say because I'm not in that position." Championship Blackpool player Jake Daniels is the most high-profile star to come out in the UK so far. He told the world he was gay in May, earning plaudits around the world. Australian footballer Josh Cavallo has also come out. Has yet to receive a call-up to Australia's senior squad, but has previously said he would be scared to play at the Qatar World Cup. Gary said he had hoped that Jake and Josh would trigger a domino effect. He said, "I was hoping, because there are obviously, lots of players that are having to live a lie. I'm sure it's very difficult. I always thought it's so difficult to know unless you're in that circumstance and you're living through how that is. I think what we've seen so far is that the feedback and the response, it will be incredibly positive." He believes any openly gay player playing at the highest level would become a massive, marketable star. Gary said, "I'd certainly, if I were an agent of a big footballer, if I knew one of my players was gay, if I knew, and if he was a top player, I'd say, be the first big player. Because, I mean, as an agent, thinking in terms of promotion and stuff, you're going to be huge." Gary also said that while he was flattered to be asked to host April's World Cup draw after being invited by FIFA, he had to turn it down. He said, "I didn't want to do the World Cup draw because I've been outspoken about the corruption that was involved by FIFA. It's a different FIFA now. But I felt, rather than where I said I'm there to report on the World Cup rather than support it, I think doing the draw for FIFA, for the world, for Qatar, would be supporting the World Cup and supporting the decision." As well as being appalled by homophobia in Qatar, he was sickened by the human rights issues, in particular by the poor treatment of the migrant workers building the stadiums. He and the BBC would not shy away from the issues in the coverage of the tournament. He said, "I'm sure we'll do it on the first night. Obviously we're not going to do it in every build-up to every game, but of course we'll talk about it and openly. Gary revealed that he had shunned Vladimir Putin in 2018, when he did the draw ahead of the tournament in Russia, which had passed anti-gay legislation. Gary proudly wore a rainbow wristband and refused to be photographed with Putin. He said, "I avoided meeting him. I was asked to go with all the players and I didn't want to do anything." Gary's passion for LGBTQ+ issues is reflected in his new children's book 50 Times Football Changed the World. It details footballing firsts, such as the first transgender person to play international football, as well as Stonewall FC, the first gay UK football club. Get all the biggest showbiz news straight into your inbox. Sign up for the free Mirror Showbiz newsletter. The book, written with Ivor Badil, also touches on another passion of Gary's, the rights of refugees. One chapter tells the story of 75 female Afghan players who fled the Taliban to resettle in Australia in 2021. He previously told how he had a refugee from Balochistan staying with him in his Surrey home. And he recently took in a second refugee, this time one fleeing Erdogan's oppressive regime in Turkey. Gary said, "He's a really smart kid and wants to be a rocket scientist, actually. He was with us about a month and was such a sweet kid and has now gone to university." The 26-year-old had been caught up in a military coup and imprisoned for 18 months in Turkey before fleeing. Gary said, "He got out. And then he spent 18 months in our home office system where he was treated like us. He said it was hell. Did either of his new house guests like football? No, neither them were football fans," he laughs. "Not a clue. But they had to spend a lot of time watching football. Poor buggers. That was their punishment." 50 Times Football Changes the World by Gary Lineker and Ivor Badil, published by Puffin, is out now. Do you have a story to sell? Get in touch with us at webcelebs@mirror.co.uk or call us direct at 0207 29 33 033.